They like jet airplanes. They like long limousines.
And that's the bottom line. Go Stone Cold Are you ready?
You're listening to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast.
Hey yo. Ooh, yeah.
With your host, Kinny Killa. And the Gal Them Sugar Show.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast. It is Sunday, it's episode 37. It's the man of the hour too, so weak to be sour, the one man with the Instagram Kinny Killa. And you know, I'm always joined by the hashtag tech guy himself, the Gal Them Sugar Sugs.
Yo, yo, yo.
And today we have a very special guest, the host of the TNA Turnaround, all the way from stateside Oklahoma, is Oliver Benji.
Brr, 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 brr. Yes, it is the Vamp Ninja. It is your favorite heel, your favorite face. It is King Oli, and I am so happy to be on, guys. Thanks for getting at us. Me and the Mass Mark like the show, and we're just happy that we could contribute to it.
Oh, but we're absolutely happy that you're here, man, you know. Again, like I said earlier, we appreciate the fact that, you know, it's early where you are. Tell the people how early it actually is.
I'm looking at my clock right now, and it is 5:47. I left a warm bed with a fine lady in it to do this because I love wrestling.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Too legit to quit. Yeah, unfortunately, the Mass Mark can't be here, but we would definitely love to get you guys on again together because I understand the Mass Mark does, fantasy booking on your guys' show, so it'll be great to have that on our show.
Yes, definitely. He's off the chain with the fantasy booking, guys. I'm going to release volume 2 of fantasy booking very soon. Another compilation of his booking. It's great.
Well, yeah, we'll make sure that at the end of the show you can do your plugs, let the people know where they can find you and stuff. So on to the show today, people. We're obviously, as we always do, we're going to run through Raw. We have Smackdown in 60 seconds. We also have Sugs Stunners, and we have a very special interview with the People's Princess, 4FW's Nadia Sapphire. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So all the people out there, you can follow us on Twitter. That's at Sunday Segue. Segue spelled Segue. You can catch us on email. That's sundaysegue@gmail.com. Find all our old episodes on YouTube, iTunes, Podomatic, and don't forget to download that Double Twist player. So let's just get into the shout outs. I'm gonna do shout outs now. I want to quickly shout out Drew. That's 5-Star Frog 1, fellow Bristol boy. So there's your shout out, bruv. Hopefully we get him on the show in the new year. Also want to give a shout out to Wrestling Northeast, LCW Roses, at Pam's Love, at Black Friday MGT. That's Joshua. Chris Johnson is at Chris JO77. Plus the Colonel's Corner at Colonel Wrestling. If I missed out anyone else, just got to give a shout out to James Powers as always. He's going to be on the show next week. And Brendan Finney, a close friend of James Powers. So holla at your boy. Shugs, any shout outs?
Nah, man, you're in charge. I'll just try and make sure the show actually fucking records this week.
Oh yeah, we got to apologize for that, people. Last week we had our technical difficulties. We were recording one hell of a Shugs, one hell of a rant fest. So yeah, sorry about that. Have you ever had those problems, Oliver?
Yes. The first time we had Tim Vicious on, I was ready to go, or so I thought. I looked at my camera, and it only had 10 minutes worth of juice on it. So it took us about 30 minutes to actually get started. I was running back and forth, trying to charge it, trying to come up with some alternative. And what I ended up doing was taking my iMac from my room, take it into my garage, turn that on, record it on that, and we were good to go.
Sometimes you have to have those alternatives just there, ready and waiting. It's happened to us before, but this time, hopefully it records, fingers crossed. So, right about now, Oliver, what we do with us, when we have guests on the show, we ask them to give us their very best Fandango impression and also fill us in with their favorite wrestler of all time and their favorite current wrestlers. So, Shugs, you got your scorecards ready?
Yep.
Right, so, Oliver, without further ado, can you give us your best Fandango impression, please?
Yes, I can. James Powers was on recently, and I'm gonna have to tell you, no, James. You've gotta say it like this. Fandango.
Yeah. Shugs?
Yeah, that was good. You gotta get into character, It's no good just saying the words, you've gotta be Fandango.
We just got a message, people, from the master of the top rope elbow, Steve Dawson, who's recently just got a new job. So he wasn't going to be able to come on, but now he says he's just got back and he can probably jump online. So we're just going to wait for a second. Hopefully you're going to come on in a bit soon. So Oliver, that was a nice impression, bruv. A nice impression. Can you tell us who your favorite wrestler of all time is and your favorite current wrestler today?
My favorite wrestler of all time, especially with me hailing from San Antonio, Texas, before I moved out here to the wonderful state of Oklahoma, has to be Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. He had the charisma. He had the wrestling ability. Even though he was small, he put it on a show. He was the main event. He was Mr. WrestleMania, and I really like him.
Yeah, that's a wicked choice, bro. Who's your favorite current wrestler?
I'm gonna have to say yes. Daniel Bryan Danielson, my favorite current wrestler. I'm trying to get my beard thing to go out. My girl really doesn't like the beard thing, but in my heart and soul, I have a beard, and I'm saying yes to everything.
Bro, hey, mate, I'm trying to grow a beard myself, and it's not working out as well as I wanted it to be. Right, so we're going to get Steve Dawson in on the call. Let's just call this brother right now. Let's get him in. Master of the top rope elbow. Hopefully he answers. While we do that, you had two great selections right there. Steve!
I am here.
He is here. Master of the top rope elbow, back from work. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm okay, a bit annoyed. I got told I was starting today, and I go in and they say, oh no, you're starting on Thursday, go away.
Sometimes,
a wasted journey.
Yeah.
Alright, wait.
Well.
Let me make sure that this is recorded now. Because this is what happened last time. Steve jumped on board and the show stopped. So I'm going to stop. Let's carry on.
So, right about now, we're going to go straight into Raw, people. Last week, it was Rant Fest. Me, Shug, Steve, we went in. The thing failed to record. It's okay because we have it in our memory, and there's going to be some more rant in here today, I suspect. Raw, it was okay, but it wasn't, as bad as last week. But let's just get into it. Segment 1. We started with the CM Punk promo. Oliver, what did you think of Punk's promo?
I liked Punk's promo. Anytime you put the mic in front of CM Punk, Oliver is happy. However, this authority thing, I don't know. Sometimes it rubs me the wrong way.
How do you mean? Explain, brother. Explain.
This authority thing's been done over and over. It seems like to be the bread and butter of WWE, much like in TNA, where they've got to faction up all the time. It's like, okay, we understand you've got the authority, but how many people are you going to bury while you do this? Use an actual wrestler. Come on, bro.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand what you're saying with that. Speaking of the authority, Kane comes out, and he cut a cold promo on CM Punk, didn't he, Steve?
Yeah, he was pretty good. He stumbled on his words a bit, I think. I'm not sure why he did that. Yeah, I'm with Oliver. It just seems a bit all sort of seen it before. And with the authority, there's no one getting the better of them at the moment. They buried Daniel Bryan, and I can't see them doing the same to Cena, to be honest, because it's John Cena, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Kane comes out, he announces a handicap match. Shugs, are these matches played out now?
Well, they've been going on in the WWE for years, and everyone tries to blame Teddy Long for making a straight up tag team match, but it seems that everyone does it. It's a way of getting all these people. Although the show's 3 hours long, they seem to cram all these people into these matches, you know? So we'll get as many people on TV by making the show 3 hours long and then having 3, 6, 12-man tag team matches. So, you know, I just think they just need to mix it up a bit, I suppose.
Well, speaking of mixing it up, obviously there's a lot of mixing in Kane's gimmick at the moment. Shugs, do you like it?
I thought it was okay. The way he delivered his promo, you know, like Steve said, he stumbled on his words a bit, but he was going in for that, you know, he was using all like these technical words. He was going a bit like David Otunga on people. And, you know, like people say about the actual Kane, what's his real name?
Glenn Jacobs.
Glenn Jacobs, yeah, Glenn Jacobs. That he's a like proper like intelligent guy, and he's into all his politics and all stuff like that. So I think it's more of him just being himself, you know, and that's just the way he rolls normally.
Okay, Oliver, do you reckon he's retired now?
No, I think he's just waiting to pop. I think somebody's gonna push him over the edge. But I love this new character. I believe it's long overdue, but I accept it as it is right now. I mean, heck, even like the little hair that's on his head is not even black; it's like blonde. It's like he's going a different way, and I'm behind him totally.
Yeah, because I mean, we're used to the same old Kane, and it is nice to see something really different and so far out there, you know. So yeah, let's just go straight on to segment 2, which was Ziggler versus Sandow. Now, we've called bullshit on the last 2 weeks because we've had, a country, Raw Country. We had that crazy match where he was doing the tribute to Jeff Jarrett. Then we had this match last week, which was a hamster ball match or whatever it was. And now this week, it was a rubber match for the number 1 contender for the IC title. So out of all 3 matches, Shugs, this was the most important. So why was it shorter than the other 2?
Because obviously the other 2 matches were just there to fill the show. Maybe they had more ideas and maybe the running time wasn't so tight for this episode. So it was just something to progress the storylines, you know? The other 2 matches didn't really make any sense.
Classic. WWE Studios, well done.
Imagine Christmas Day, you open your stocking and that's in there. No, you know you've been a bad boy.
Why doesn't Santa love me?
Exactly.
I'd be like, I wonder, is there a receipt with that? Like, can I bring that back? You know? Jeez. Oh God. Christmas Bounty. Don't watch it. All right. Let's move away from this, man, because this is just. I mean, I don't even want to talk about the Weetabix kid. Oliver, the Weetabix kid is Curtis Axel. I don't know whether you know or may not know, but yeah, the Weetabix kid is Curtis Axel because he's a dry lunch. That's why he cannot wrestle. He dries up the place, so I won't waste my breath anymore because if I do, my mouth will probably get dry. So let's move on to segment 9. Big Mizark Henry versus Fandango. Quick squash match, Oliver. What did you think of Henry's dance moves?
I like Rick Ross. I mean Mark Henry. I enjoy him, and I think what he's doing right now is, it's good. They keep starting and stopping his push, and it's upsetting me. What he needs to do is beat whoever's going to be the unified champion, walk around with the belt for a little while, and then right away into the sunset. He's had, a long career, but it's over, Mark. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, I mean, we have to enjoy him while we got him now because it seems like his best work is coming towards the end, Shugs.
Yeah, he never seems to stay injury free long enough. That he give us some like great moments, but I think he deserves to have that title run, before he finishes. I think it would be a disservice to him, even if, they're giving the title, people have it for a week, a month, or whatever. If he can have it, 1 month, maybe 2 months, and just run with it, in the middle of the year where there's nothing going on, just give him the title.
I have to second that. Alright, so it was a quick match. Nothing really to talk about except for, Mark Henry trying to bust a wine. Oh, yeah, that's another thing I want to say, Steve. Why do JBL and commentary keep saying that these guys are twerking? Like, do your bloody information. Like, that's not twerking. Stop saying that's what he's doing. That's what they're doing. Like,
it's the only dance they're aware of. That's the most current word they're aware of. If you listen to their references, that's the only one from this fucking century.
Yeah, I think Vince has like realised that twerking is like the big sort of like craze of the year, and he's just thought, right, every time someone dances, it's going to say they're twerking. We're going to scene down with the kids.
Oh god. All right. So let's just go on to segment 10. PTP, Primetime Players versus the Real Americans. So just ignore the whole sick gimmick for a second, because that was part of the shittest week in wrestling ever. So, this was obviously all about the big swing. Oliver, I mean, what's your thoughts on Cesaro? Because, I always like to try and find out other people's opinion on this guy, because they vary. So, yeah, what's your thoughts?
I never watched Cesaro when he was in Ring of Honor, but that being said, I think he's pound for pound is one of the most legit wrestlers they have on their roster. And he can talk, he can wrestle, he's got the image. You just look at him and be like, he could whoop my ass. I don't know why he keeps getting, done wrong. He's getting the Jack Swagger treatment with Jack Swagger. And he's not Jack Swagger. This guy could stand alone. I think he could hold the title like CM Punk did, for a long while, and be like, this guy can fight anybody. Heck, he swung the Great Khali, man. Let this guy loose. Take his leash off and let him just run through people.
Yeah, I mean, we've said in the past that for some reason, something's happened backstage or someone just don't like him, and he's just going to have to just lick his wounds, take his time, and then just, and then come back strong. Because, I mean, look at Daniel Bryan, the guy... I listened to Steve Austin's podcast with him recently, and the guy said that he signed a developmental deal with WWE when he was 18, and then he got sacked, yeah? And he's had to wait his time for so long, and now he's here, and he's somewhat at the top. He's still getting screwed a bit, but hopefully, we see a difference in that. But definitely Cesaro, man, he needs a push. I think most of us agree, and we'll probably agree with that until this guy's done. So, Sugs, Real Americans, they win again. Will they actually become the tag team champs before they break away Cesaro?
I think it's always easier to have, like a turn or some type of switch if they're champions, Mm-hmm. So if they get the belts and then they start to like break up, and then, you have some type of disagreement within the tag team, I think it's always better if they do it as champions, and you see them start to, like, self-destruct, Because that's probably what's going to happen with Kofi and Goldust, if they were going to have Kofi beat Goldust at WrestleMania. So, I think it's about time Cesaro got some credit or got a bit of gold. It's a long time since he was, like, the US champion. So I think it would be good for him, but like you said, if they unify the titles, I think there's less chance of it happening.
Mm-hmm.
Him, he might get a run with the IC belt, but that's just like a way to range your feet. So who wants that?
Yeah, not me. Okay, right. So final segment of Raw: Cena, Orton in-ring promo, contract signing, predictability, as CM Punk has always said. Steve, just give me your thoughts or notes on the end to Raw. Were you surprised to see them kind of let them go so far with the tables and stuff?
I think it needed something like that, really, because to be honest, all contract signings these days in WWE are the same, really, aren't they? It's like war of words. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you instead, and it didn't really do much for me until they got the tables and ladders and chairs out. I'm just a bit bored of promos in WWE generally, to be honest. Yeah. I think it's all getting very samey.
Uh-huh.
But I enjoyed the bit at the end with all the tables and ladders and stuff. Hopefully they'll be like that in the match.
Mm-hmm. Well, Oliver, do you think it's going to be a bit of a dusty finish? Do you still think, because obviously this Raw was obviously built around trying to push the fact that they're telling us that there is going to be one champion. So do you think there will actually be one champion, or is there going to be a dusty finish?
I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think there's going to be one champion. And I think this match sells itself. I think this is the ace that they've sat on for so long. That they knew that this is something big that they could do, and it needs to happen. Like just recently, I think Sugs was saying that the Intercontinental Championship doesn't mean much. If there was one, main belt that Intercontinental Champion, even if there was a U.S. belt, would mean so much more. I mean, so many people have had it. You know, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold. Give us one main belt and then tell us that, you know, these secondary belts actually mean something.
Yeah.
The funny thing about this, though, is for anybody that stopped watching WWE around 2008, they can get back over here and it'll seem like not much has changed. You got Cena and Orton wrestling again. The crowd goes wild.
I totally agree. It's just becoming predictable, and it's probably easy to, you know, come back in and stuff, but I don't know what's gonna happen, man. I really don't know what's gonna happen, and I actually am intrigued to see what happens. Shugs, you got anything else left to say?
No, I just agree with Oliver. You know, like I suppose by default, if they get rid of one of the belts, then it pushes the others up. So then your number 2 belt in the company is going to be the IC title. So, you know, maybe promote it more on Smackdown, you know, maybe it goes up. So then instantly being Intercontinental Champ would be something of prestige rather than being somebody who holds the belt for like 5 months like Curtis Axel did, but don't fight anyone. You know?
Yeah.
He didn't used to fight anyone, and then he used to lose to CM Punk within like 5 seconds.
And this way they wouldn't be able to afford for the for them not to be fighting because it's your second championship.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Okay, well that's the end of Raw, people. Can I have your Raw ratings, please? So Oliver, out of 10, what is your Raw rating?
7, man.
7. Any reason?
Some of the places they hit, you know, they fired on all cylinders. However, some of the places are rehashes, like Kofi and The Miz. Are you serious, bro? And then Ziggler and Sandow. Are you serious, bro? Ziggler had recently won the World Championship, and, you know, they've just kind of pushed that away. Sandow had the Money in the Bank, but, you know, Sandow's not going over Cena. And then, you know, thinking JBL had the nerve to say that Ziggler's world title run was just like he was a coffee champion. It was just a coffee run. And I'm like, are you serious? It just really aggravates me. I don't want to rant much on it, but I want to tell you this. Both of these guys have been with the company for 7 years. Maybe not in the current character, but they've been with the company for a long time. And there's somebody in the back saying they're not ready. They're in their 30s. They're like in their early 30s and mid 30s. When are they going to be ready? Are you serious? This is not good for business. So stuff like this has aggravated me. Big Show, you need to leave, dude. You need to leave. You need to leave.
Wicked rant by Oliver Benji. Wicked rant.
Music.
Play his music. Yeah, there's been no rants today. No rant music. I thought that I was gonna get, you know, my rant on, but I cussed the divas too much. So, you know, until the Fool makes her way back on TV, there's no rant music really, I suppose. But yeah. So Shugs, what's your Raw rating?
I'd give it 6, I think. You know, it's the same old shit. Nothing new happened. I suppose they tried to escalate the Cena and Orton feud, but it's the exact same contract signing that we get every single time. So nothing new happened.
Steve.
Yep, 5 for me, I think. Last week was a bad. I think last week I would have given it probably about a 3. This week goes up to a 5. Not too much good, but nothing too bad either. Just very sort of middling show.
Okay, all right, there you have it. Raw ratings. Shugs, feedback.
James Powers, he's given some good feedback. Says we see the return of Wade Barrett, but that turned into be more #bad news. A new Sin Cara with Ink. Kofi and Miz not getting along. Wait, what week is it? And of course, Raw finished with the normal contract signing nonsense. I'm gonna try and go through and just get his thoughts. He's talked about the Punk and Stephanie angle, and he said Steph finally got something right. Punk is admired, and then he was like, now we have 2 handicap matches on pay-per-views. WTF? Talked about AJ, Tamina, and the Bella Twins. Just more pointless diva shit. Natalya and the Bella Twins won, but seriously, who cares? And then I'll read what he says about Bad News Barrett. Bad News Barrett stood at the podium, said, good news here live on Raw, but bad news is stuck in an arena with hillbillies, overweight miscreants who named the city after the state because they couldn't remember it. Wade is... So Wade Barrett, so the new Wade Barrett thing is a new package, but to me is another reworking. I can remember Bad News Brain.
Yep, so can I.
He saying about the Daniel Bryan thing. He's saying it odd for the kidnapping victim to be leading the yes chants. Another great promo from Wyatt that we said in the show. He says about Renee Young interviewing CM Punk, facing the Shield in a handicap match. And then we know the Punk said how many of the Shield he's going to take with him. And seems like they're struggling with ideas for some stars. But the handle could be good for Wade Barrett on about the bad news. Says segment filler between 4 wrestlers about the Miz and Kofi. They just don't have any interest in at all. Los Matadores did the merchandise, and the spot went downhill fast. Forgot to mention that in the show. Another good show for the Real Americans, and he said they had some epic moves in the match. And then overall, this was a better effort than we've seen from WWE, but they still need to do better with the product because it's seriously lagging. On the upside, they have announced more matches for TLC than they did at the Survivor Series. I still really doubt that there'll be one clear winner in the TLC match, but if there is, unfortunately, it will be John Cena.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
I think that if anyone's going to win, I think it's going to be Orton.
Just to do something different.
That's my thoughts at the moment, just to do something different, because they don't like being predictable. They try and not be predictable.
Okay. Well, is it the Go Home show next week?
Yeah, Go Home show next week.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll have our prediction show next week, people. Just make sure, please, that you send us your tweets with all the predictions, get them ready. Alright, so we're going to go for a break now. So I'm just going to yam quickly and have a bite of my toast, which is now cold. Thank you, Shugs. And yeah, make sure you come back because we have Smackdown in 60 seconds, Sugs Stunners, and an interview with the People's Princess, Nadia Sapphire. See you in a bit. Right, I'm just going to take a quick bite. Alright. Was it that bait, Shugs?
Yeah, because you're talking and you're just like, rah, rah, rah. It's like you had a loaf of bread in your fucking mouth, and my toast.
This is the People's Princess, Nadia Sapphire, and you are listening to the Sunday Segue.
Be sure to listen to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast.
What?
Every Sunday with Kinny Killa and the Galdem Sugar Shugs.
Yes! Yes!
With all the news, views, and laughter that you want.
They like jet airplanes. Woo! They like long limousines.
Every Sunday, the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast on Podomatic, iTunes, and YouTube.
So why don't you choke on that, slap nut?
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast. It is I, Kinny Killa, and I'm here with the God of Sugar Shugs, the master of the top rope elbow, Steve Dawson, and King Benji, Oliver Benji, from the TNA turnaround. So, right about now, we're going to go into Smackdown in 60 seconds, so please roll with it, Shugs.
Okay, so SmackDown. Daniel Bryan comes out, says he has a history of his own with Orton and Cena, claims he should be first in line for a title shot at either man because he has beaten them both in the past. And we get Big E against Fandango, with Damon Sandow on commentary. Big E defeats Fandango because everyone seems to beat him these days. We get more Bad News Barrett, which is pretty shit. Curtis Axel and Ryback defeat Cody Rhodes and Goldust in a non-title match. Axel steals the win with a roll-up. What the fuck is this? Kofi Kingston comes out for a match with but Alberto Del Rio attacks him, and he's presumably upset because of his loss to Sin Cara on Monday Night Raw. We get CM Punk against Ambrose. Good match, but obviously it's a non-title match, so CM Punk wins. Natalya defeats Tamina with AJ Lee on commentary, so it means they were probably talking about her tattoo rather than watching the match. Rey Mysterio and the Big Show, who's sadly not gone away yet, defeat the Real Americans and Zeb Coulter. Real Americans cut a backstage promo in the night, attacking Rey Mysterio, and Zeb did his usual anti-immigration routine. And then we get Randy Orton against Daniel Bryan in the main event. And Randy Orton wins after the Wyatt family calls a distraction on the Titantron. And then they end the night telling Bryan to join the family. Fade to black.
Fade to black. Okay, so
anything good that happened on Raw got switched around and shit on SmackDown, because you were talking about the Real Americans, maybe they're going for the tag team, and then they lost a big show, and
Rey
Rey Mysterio, and then we get from nowhere fucking Ryback and the Weetabix Kid defeating the tag team champs.
What is this? You know what? I'm tempted to say play my music, but I'm gonna hold off. Because right about now, somebody's gonna get caught in a Sugs Stunners.
In a week like this, it's like, what do you do? Who could be possibly
Jobber of the week. I'm gonna give it to Fandango. He comes on TV, he had his WrestleMania moment, and now he's just lost in the shuffle. He's just fucking shit. We're gonna have to get a new impression for the show, because we don't want to be associated with this fucking loser. So move of the week, I'm gonna give it to Codydust for his Hurricane Rana. And rest of the week, like, was there anything good that happened this week? Any suggestions for rest of the week? Because all these motherfuckers are starting to get on my nerves. Sin Cara.
Sin Cara, there you go. Sin Cara, he's come from nowhere. He was looking in the bins on the bin before, and now the only way he could win was to actually change, not his personality, not his gimmick, to actually change the individual who is Sin Cara. So, to Unico, you're the rest of the week. First time ever.
Big up Unico. Big up. Unico. Alright, so, right about now, guys, yesterday I sat down and did a telephone interview with the People's Princess, Nadia Sapphire. She wrestles for FW here in the UK. Really down-to-earth person, so please take your time and make sure you listen to this interview.
I'm not cocky. I just love myself. Bitch! Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the flyest?
Hello everyone and welcome to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast. It is I, the one man with no Instagram, Kinny Killa, and I'm here with the People's Princess, Nadia Sapphire. So how's your Christmas going? You got everything sorted yet?
No, not at all. Like, I never do. I'll do my Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve when I'm on the way to Cardiff to go back and see my family. What about you?
Yeah, pretty much sorted. I got to do things early, seeing as we got to set up the shows and stuff, and we have to make sure we do little bits in between. So yeah, I'm pretty much there, raring to go, really. I thought I heard a little Welsh accent hint there. So
yeah.
You from Cardiff, right?
Yeah, from Cardiff. That's right.
Oh, wicked. Okay, so what was your earliest wrestling memory?
My earliest wrestling memory was probably around about the 2001 time.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been about, well, in 2013 now, so it would have been about 11, 12, it would have been 13 years ago, so I would have been about 9.
Okay.
And like my early wrestling memory was watching things like, I think it was like the Alliance days with like Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Hardy Boys, when like Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon were against Vince McMahon with the Alliance. So yeah, they were like my earliest memories, because it's about 8 or 9 at that time, so I was only old enough to see it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. So what made you start training to be a wrestler then?
I loved it when I watched it. I loved the characteristics. I loved all the stuff they'd done in the ring, and I just thought, you know what, I want to do that. I've got to do that.
Because I mean, I've for the longest time, I mean, I've been watching wrestling for nearly 20 years, you know, since 91, and I've always thought, oh, you know, maybe I could be good in the ring, but they're thinking it, and then there's actually trying to, actually trying to do it. So I definitely commend you for kind of, you know, jumping on board and getting in the business and stuff.
You know what? It's the hardest sport I've ever done, to be honest, right? I'm not, like, you have some people who pick things up really quick. I'm not that type of person. I don't pick things up really quick. I have to train really hard. I have to train 5 times a week in wrestling training to get it.
Okay.
Like, in the 4FW Academy, just training constantly to get it and everything. So it's, I always pick it up. I say it's the hardest sport I've ever done.
Well, boy, I mean, I would just love to do just one training session, just one, just to say I've actually tried to do it. I mean,
you should so come to FW. It's amazing. Like, you know what though? It's so hard. Like, our conditioning's very hard. We do tumbling. We do a lot of warm ups. Then like we also do like a lot of drills, a lot of proper wrestling stuff as well. Like, it's so good. Come for one session.
Oh, that would be amazing. So when did you make your wrestling debut?
When I was 16 years old.
Oh,
so,
wow.
oh God, was that 16, 17, 18? 6 years ago.
6 years ago. Wow. So you're 22 at the moment.
Yeah,
so
that's
still,
right.
So still young. It's still young. Got a lot of time ahead of you. So who is the best person you've wrestled so far then?
Well, I've been out for 3 years of an injury. I've only literally just come back from an injury. I had a knee injury. I tore my ACL, my lateral menisci, and my medial meniscus. So since I've been back, I haven't wrestled loads of people since I've been back. So I just started doing shows again in August. So it'd have to be back before I was injured. I wrestled someone called Sweet Sugar Sanchez. She was another 4FW graduate. She was very good.
Oh wow, okay. That's what I mean. A torn ACL. That's how the business goes. It just, you know, 1 minute you're high and then the next minute you get an injury. It's no joke. And you know what? Sometimes I take offense to, even though I'm not a wrestler, when people say it's fake, I take offense to it sometimes, because you're watching it and you see the hard graft that you guys do, you know, inside, outside of the ring. It can take its toll.
The stuff I've been through with it, like, I broke my nose in wrestling at 14 years old. I had to get that redone. My mum was so upset. She's like, Nadia, you've disfigured your face. I was like, oh, mum, don't worry, it's just a broken nose. I've had big balloon black eyes, like, they look absolutely minging. I've had an ankle injury. I've torn a ligament in my ankle, and then my knee, which has been ongoing. First I tore my medial meniscus. It healed. Then I tore my ACL and my lateral menisci. Then I had surgery. So hopefully now it's strong.
So
it's held up, so it's good.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, you know, it's managed to hold up. So do you get much time to rest and, you know, try and rest those injuries?
Yeah, like, at the moment, we're off. Well, we like, in 4FW, we're like, our training's a bit different to a lot of other people. Like, in 4FW, we usually do wrestling training about 3 or 4 times a week, and then obviously we've got our shows and everything. So it's quite knackering. But had November off, so we didn't train in November, and I didn't do any shows in November, and then December then doing, like, I've got about 6 shows in December now. But, like, training is off for Christmas, and then back in January then we'll be training 4 times a week, like Monday to Friday, and then weekends will be shows, so it'll be quite knackering in January, but around the Christmas period I'm just literally resting up at the moment.
Okay, so a lot going on. So tell me a little bit about LCW and the LCW Roses.
Well, they based in Leicester, and basically LCW Roses is an all-women's promotion.
Wow.
They are having their first show on January the 25th, and I am glad to be a part of that as well.
Wicked. I mean, the people, all the listeners, make sure you look out for that LCW Roses. January.
Yeah, great. Come and watch People's Princess Nadia Sapphire.
Make sure you do, people.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Really excited. It should be good because it'd be nice just like meet all different types of women who are in wrestling at the moment, because back before I was injured, it was different people. Now everyone seems to be new. It's all new people.
Yeah. I mean, who did you look up to growing up whilst you were watching wrestling?
I looked up more to the male wrestlers, to be honest. I know that sounds a bit like quite thin, but like I liked people like Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, and Kurt Angle. That's the sort of style I loved. Like I love, like, you know, I like the way they move in the ring. They just flow like liquid.
So just tell me a bit about like British women's wrestling, because I mean, do you think that it's getting easier for British women to kind of make it in the wrestling business today?
Well, of course, like I think now, like there's a lot of female women's promotions out there. There's a lot of people who actually believe in women's wrestling and want to make it into a good thing, not a bad thing. So it's definitely getting better. Basically, all we need is like girls who are good, who are willing to train, who are willing to work their asses off, and then you'll be fine. Like, so yeah.
It's all about dedication, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, this is just my view, but I believe that wrestlers are athletes. I believe we should train like athletes. I'd never stop training. I never think that I'd ever be too good to stop training. I think you should always be perfecting your craft. Like, you know, being at a high conditions level. You don't want to get blown out in the ring or anything like that. Like, wrestling can be so dangerous in my eyes. I think people should always train, and I think that's why I've always stuck with 4FW, because that's what all the boys believe. All the top guys in 4FW who are on the shows, who wrestle around the UK, they still train, they still condition, they still work their arse off. You never stop learning, never. And I think more people need to have that attitude, and if more women in the wrestling scene had that attitude, then I definitely think that we could make women's wrestling amazing.
Said it first. She said it first, people. Have you wrestled in America yet?
No.
No. And I mean, have you got plans to? How far do you wanna? You know, how far can you see yourself going? Because if you look at obviously, you know, Sweet Saraya, and her daughter, who's Paige in the WWE at the moment, they're from Norwich, England, and they're, you know, she's over there now. Can you see yourself going that far?
Well, obviously, I'd like to go that far. Like, you never go into something half-assing it, do you? You always go in, like, I think the thing is, everyone has had that dream before that, oh my god, I want to be a wrestler, I want to be in front of that stage, etc. So, like, I'm going to try as hard as I can, basically. Who knows? Like, you know, I might get there, I might not, but at least I know that I didn't stop trying.
If obviously the WWE, they come here on tour twice a year, they have tryouts twice a year. Have you thought about, you know, when kind of would be the right time for you to maybe do that?
Yeah, I have actually thought about it. Basically, I found a WWE application online a few months back, and I went to fill it out, and I stopped, and I thought, you know what, Nad, don't fill it out yet. I thought, I'm going to wait, because with WWE, obviously, like, it's reality. They're women, they look a certain way, they're gorgeous, they're slim. Like, me, I'm more of a curvy sort of girl. Like, I got a slim stomach, but, like, you know, I got, like, big thighs, big bum, so I thought, you know what, I need to tone it more, sort of like get my look better, also like develop my character before I actually apply, because I want to be at my peak when I'm doing it. I know that I need to improve on things. I'm not one of them people who has an ego, who's basically like, oh yeah, I don't need to improve, or I'm the best, this and that. Like, literally, I'm always happy to listen to people. I'm always happy to learn. Like, basically, that's all I want to do is learn, make myself look better, like, get a better character, like, should be better and smoother in the ring.
I mean, I completely agree with people that want to, you know, improve themselves, make themselves better, but just remember, there is only one people's princess, Nadia Sapphire. And, you know what I mean? And so what, you know, you look a certain way, you wrestle a certain way, but that's you at the end of the day. And if people don't like it, then, you know, that's their prerogative. But you have to, you know, you have to feel comfortable in yourself. You have to be comfortable in your character. So I definitely, you know, I agree with, you know, with what you're saying, and I have the utmost respect for the fact that you wanted to stay here, you know, learn your craft, learn your trade, get to where you want to be, and hopefully, fingers crossed, you know, the People's Princess can get there in the future. So finally, Nadia, what does the future hold for the People's Princess in this business?
Well, at the moment, Well, I'm working a lot of shows at the moment. I'm balleting and wrestling on shows. I just want to get my character out there now. So basically, I just want to get my character out there. I want to be the most talked about women's wrestler in the UK. I want to entertain people. I want to make them laugh. I want to make them boo. I want to make them cheer. Do you get what I mean? Like, literally, like, as long as the crowd's happy, I'm happy, basically.
That's great. That is amazing. So do you want to give any quick shout outs? Do you want to tell people where they can find you? Twitter, Facebook, website, anything?
My Twitter is the big @ then Nadia, which is NADIA. Then what's that thing called? Not a hyphen, the one that goes
underscore.
Underscore. Sorry, blonde moment. Ageli, which is AGELI. That's my Twitter. You can also see me at Forefront Wrestling shows. Just go on 4fw-online.com or follow them on Twitter, which is @4fw. You can also see me at LCW Roses. Their Twitter is @LCW Roses, and British Bombshells and other promotions in the UK.
There you go. Well, it's been a pleasure, Nadia. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to interview you. No problem.
And the legacy lives on, going strong. Let us not forget who owns the throne.
And we are back, people. Wicked interview with Nadia Sapphire. Really nice person. Please make sure that you follow her on Twitter, please. And, just check this woman out. She also now wrestles for LCW Roses, which is a breakaway promotion of Leicester Championship Wrestling. So be sure to look out for her in the future. Big things coming for her in 2014. Big up, Nadia. Right about now, it's plug time. So it's your time, Oliver. Tell us a bit about TNA Turnaround and, where we can find you.
Yes, TNA Turnaround. We've been doing it for about 4 months now. I made a call on Twitter to see who would want to do a show with me because I've wanted to do a review show of wrestling. And I just happened to, get heavily into TNA, and I was like, who's going to help me? And the Mass Mark comes down to the ring, and he gets the hot tag, and he just goes in the ring and just tears up the people. So, me and the Mass Mark have been doing it for about 4 months. We had a third member, but due to just issues, family issues and just other issues, that person just couldn't be reliable. And I thank him for the times they've come on the show. However, me and Mass Mark have just come into our own. I think we've got good chemistry. I'm usually not, good chemistry. We have good chemistry, and we enjoy it. The Mass Mark recently started doing his fantasy bookings. He's done it for about 5 or 6 shows now, and they are hilarious. He takes a shitty segment and he makes it even more shittier. But yeah, we are on Rewind Benji 1, REYND Benji 1 at YouTube.com, and that's where we do our reviews, and we do it every weekend. We try to get people on, much like y'all are getting people on. I put a ad up on Twitter, and I know how much y'all love TNA, but we love to have you on the show, or anybody from your huge crowd that says, hey man, I want to be on the TNA Turnaround show. All you got to do is shoot a message to me on Twitter, or comment on YouTube, and we can make it work.
Okay, cool. And what's your Twitter handle?
I'm at Oliver Ben on Twitter. The Mass Mark is at Just a Stupid Mark on Twitter, or at Just a Stupid Mark. And his mask has come to life and has its own Twitter.
Oh wow!
It's at Just a Stupid Mask, and his mask has kind of been being mean to me. So I just had to shout out to the mask. So hopefully we can. Because I don't want me and the Mass Mark to fall out if the mask doesn't feel it,
There you hear it, people. TNA Turnaround. Make sure that you check that out on YouTube. Okay, so that's the end of the show, people. We've had a nice little group of people here today. Master of the Top Rope Elbow. He manages just to come back in, and he's gonna be gone for a while. He's got work to do, so at this moment in time, I'd like to say to you, Steve, thank you for what you've done for us in the last couple of weeks, my friend. I know you're going to have a couple of weeks off now. You'll be back on the show in the new year. And, yeah, man, just, stack them peas, dog. Stack them peas. Get that money. Do what you got to do. And, we'll see you back in the new year.
I'll be back when I can, guys.
Okay, good, nice one. And also, I got to say thank you to King Oli, Oliver Benji from TLA Turnaround. Thank you, brother, for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. James Powers, thanks, man, for turning me on to these guys. I really appreciate it. And I'm just overjoyed to be on this show. It's good to be able to help y'all with your show, or to show up.
Yeah, you know how we like to shoot the breeze. We definitely would like you to come on again, and hopefully with Mass Mark. So we'll set that up. And obviously I cannot do this without the hashtag tech guy, the Welsh wizard himself. The Galdem Sugar Shugs. What can I say, brother?
It's been another good show. Hopefully, when we go look for it, it'll be there.
Hopefully not another lost episode. Oh god. Right, so I'm gonna redo in the words of Roddy Piper from last week, because obviously that couldn't be aired. So this week again. So in the words of Roddy Piper, Royal Rumble 92, just before he goes off to face against the Mountie for the IC title. Well, you know what we're dealing with here is one of the original Village people, with his mate Jimmy Hart, who keeps kissing the belt, leaving all his lipstick on it. I heard the Mountie say, and he pumps his chest, "The first thing I'm going to do is take Piper's integrity." It's like Jacques Cousteau trying to find a dry spot in the ocean. I ain't got no damn integrity. How do you think I got so far? Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take Piper's manhood. Huh? I come here to fight. I don't know what you come here to do. I come here to win 2 titles. I can't do it until I win the first one. I think you've been dreaming, and I think it's been all wet too. And you can choke on that slap nuts. Woo! And that is the end of the show.